History Channel. I'm Sophie, and today we're diving into the captivating life of one of Rome's wealthiest and most influential figures, Marcus Licinius Crassus. As you relax and unwind, let the soothing sounds and gentle whispers guide you back to ancient Rome, a world of immense power struggles, political intrigue, and extraordinary fortunes. Crassus, famed for his vast wealth and key role in the First Triumvirate alongside Julius Caesar and Pompey the Great, left a lasting mark on Roman history. Join me as we explore his remarkable journey from his meteoric rise to his dramatic and tragic end. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and let the whispers of history envelop you. Marcus Licinius Crassus, a prominent and influential figure in the later Roman Republic, is renowned for his vast wealth and significant role in the formation of the initial triumvirate alongside Pompey and Julius Caesar. Born into a family of privilege around 115 BC, Crassus accumulated his riches through astute real estate investments and taking advantage of the turmoil of the sullen prescriptions, acquiring properties of executed rivals at discounted prices. His financial prowess played a crucial role in his political rise, enabling him to provide substantial support to Julius Caesar in his early political campaigns. In the realm of military exploits, Crassus is particularly remembered for his decisive role in suppressing the infamous slave revolt led by Spartacus in 71 BC, earning him admiration and influence in the Roman Senate. However, Crassus's ambition for military glory eventually led to his downfall during the ill-fated Parthian campaign in 53 BC. Seeking to match the military achievements of his allies, he led a Roman army into Parthia, only to suffer a devastating defeat and meet his end at the Battle of Carrhae. This disastrous expedition not only brought about his untimely demise, but also disrupted the fragile balance of power within the triumvirate, setting the stage for conflicts between Caesar and Pompey that would ultimately lead to the demise of the Roman Republic. Crassus's legacy represents a complex blend of immense wealth, political influence, and tragic military undertakings, encapsulating the tumultuous final years of the Roman Republic. Despite belonging to the prestigious Latinian clan, a respected plebeian lineage in Rome known for its history of public service, Crassus was not, as commonly believed, connected to the wealthy Crassides. Contrary to the popular perception of his rags to riches story, Crassus did not come from humble beginnings, but instead built his fortune through shrewd business ventures and strategic investments. Crassus, often overshadowed by his contemporaries Pompey and Julius Caesar, nevertheless played a crucial role in shaping Roman history during the tumultuous late Republic era. His immense wealth, commanding presence, and ambitious nature left a lasting impact on the political and military landscape of the time. Marcus Crassus, the second son of Licinius Crassus, a prominent senator, faced significant personal challenges from an early age. Tragedy struck his family with the untimely deaths of his elder brother before the Italic War, and his father and younger sibling during the upheaval following Gaius Marius's victory at the Battle of Octavium. Despite these hardships, Marcus found an unexpected turn of events when he married his deceased brother's widow, a practice considered unconventional in Roman society during that period. contrasted by Marcus Crassus's reputation for his vast personal fortune and exceptional skills as an orator. He emerged as one of the most persuasive speakers of his time, following in the footsteps of his ancestor, Lucius Crassus, who was esteemed as Rome's foremost orator before Cicero. The intertwining of personal tragedy, political upheaval, rhetorical prowess, and wealth marked a multifaceted journey to maturity for Crassus. His ability to navigate these intricate dynamics helped solidify his place in the annals of Roman history, showcasing the complexities and nuances of power and influence during a turbulent period. After Gaius Marius's sudden death, Lucius Cornelius Sulla took advantage of the power vacuum and seized control, launching a harsh crackdown on Roman senators and equestrians who had supported Marius during a tumultuous march on Rome in 88 BC. This move disrupted the traditional Roman political order and plunged the city into chaos. In the midst of this turmoil, Marcus Linnæus Crassus, facing a precarious situation due to his family's strong connections to solar deep roots, made the strategic decision to go into hiding to avoid Sulla's purges. He fled Rome and sought refuge in Hispania, modern-day Spain, from 87 to 84 BC. During his time in Hispania, Crassus leveraged his father's network of allies in the region to raise a small army of approximately 2,500 soldiers, although their lack of experience was notable. To finance this military venture, Crassus resorted to coercive methods, which somewhat tarnished his reputation among the Roman elite. When Sulla passed away in 84 BC, the political climate in Rome became slightly more stable, prompting Crassus to move to the Roman province of Africa. In Africa, Crassus briefly aligned himself with Metellus Pius, a supporter of Sulla. However, disagreements soon arose between them, prompting Crassus to sail his troops to Greece, where Sulla's forces were preparing to reclaim control of Rome during the civil war. Crassus demonstrated his military prowess alongside Pompey in battles against Papirius Carbo's forces at Spalatium and in the siege of the Marian commander Carinus. The turning point for Crassus came during the Battle of the Colline Gate, where he was entrusted with commanding the pivotal right flank of Sulla's army. His success in this crucial position significantly bolstered the morale of Sulla's troops and played a key role in shifting the momentum of the battle in favour of Sulla, ultimately contributing to Sulla's victory in the conflict. The decisive victory not only restored Sulla's authority as the preeminent figure in Rome, but also catapulted Crassus into a position of significant influence within the city's political and military spheres. The support of grateful allies and the fear of vengeful adversaries further solidified Crassus's advantageous standing, setting the stage for his future rise in Roman politics. By strategically positioning himself to benefit financially, Crassus ensured his economic security, contingent upon the absence of any competing or while simultaneously engaging with the Roman elite to deflect any potential criticism. The harsh measures of the prescriptions, which included executions and property seizures, left the female relatives of the victims in vulnerable social positions. Crassus astutely exploited this vulnerability to amass a considerable personal fortune, even resorting to adding wealthy individuals to the list of condemned in order to seize their riches. Notably, the historian Plutarch remarked that Crassus initially possessed a modest fortune of less than 300 talents, but through his opportunistic practices, his wealth skyrocketed to an astounding 7,100 talents amidst the societal chaos, a sum equivalent to at least $167 million in today's currency. Crassus adeptly capitalized on the public crises of the time to accumulate wealth through various means, including ventures into the slave trade, investments in silver mining, and acquisitions of valuable real estate properties. His ability to navigate and exploit the tumultuous events of the era not only secured his financial prosperity, but also established him as a formidable player in Roman politics and society. Marcus Licinius Crassus, a prominent Roman figure, leveraged the frequent fires in Rome to his advantage by taking advantage of fire-damaged properties being sold at discounted rates. This opportunistic approach allowed him to capitalize on the distress of owners seeking to quickly offload their assets in the aftermath of such disasters. However, Crassus's business dealings were not limited to these exploitative practices. They extended to other unethical endeavors, such as profiting from warfare and societal turmoil. Historical accounts, including Plutarch's writings, portray Crassus as someone who thrived on the misfortunes of others, transforming public calamities into lucrative opportunities for personal gain. His various ventures ranged from the trafficking of slaves to the operation of lucrative silver mines and bold real estate speculations. In particular, his involvement in the Roman real estate market was marked by his shrewd tactics of purchasing fire-damaged properties at reduced prices, taking advantage of the desperation of distressed property owners looking to sell quickly. One notable aspect of Crassus's real estate strategy was his utilization of a workforce of over 500 skilled slaves specialized in architecture and construction. By employing these trained individuals, Crassus was able to renovate the acquired properties in Rome at a significantly lower cost, thereby increasing his overall wealth and expanding his real estate holdings throughout the city. This approach not only helped Crassus restore his fortunes, but also allowed him to diversify his property portfolio in Rome. Furthermore, Crassus took his opportunistic practices a step further by establishing an innovative firefighting unit consisting of around 500 individuals. This brigade not only served the noble purpose of extinguishing fires in the city, but also served as a means for Crassus to further his financial interests and property acquisitions. Whenever a fire broke out, Crassus's brigade would swiftly intervene, negotiating the purchase of damaged properties at bargain prices. In some cases, if property owners refused his offers, Crassus would even let the buildings burn down, only to acquire the land later at a reduced cost. Through these ruthless tactics, Crassus amassed a significant number of properties, which he would then proceed to renovate and either return to their original owners or lease out to new occupants. This cutthroat approach not only solidified Crassus's wealth and influence, but also cemented his reputation as a ruthless and cunning businessman in ancient Rome. Known for his cunning and manipulative ways, Marcus Linnæus Crassus was not one to shy away from using social engagements to further his own interests. This was particularly evident in his interactions with Linnea, a Vestal virgin who owned a luxurious villa in Rome. Crassus saw an opportunity in Linnæa's property and relentlessly pursued her, not out of genuine affection, but with the intention of acquiring her estate at a discounted price. His reputation for avarice preceded him, and when allegations of misconduct arose, Crassus found himself standing trial. The judges, however, deemed his interest in Linnea as purely financial, ultimately clearing him of any wrongdoing in their eyes. Despite his immense wealth, Crassus led a surprisingly modest personal life. He preferred simple meals and gatherings, where he displayed generosity without the need for extravagant displays of opulence. His choice of social companions was strategic, based on personal connections and political utility, reflecting his pragmatic approach to wealth and relationships. Unlike some of his peers who flaunted their divine lineage, Crassus and his family chose to honour their ancestors through portraits displayed in their home, eschewing the need for mythical connections to elevate their status. Despite his accomplishments and prestigious lineage, Crassus found himself overshadowed in the political arena by the military and political successes of Pompey the Great, leading to a deep-seated rivalry between the two figures. While Crassus diligently climbed the political ladder, eventually reaching the position of praetor in 73 BC by following the Cursus Honorum, he struggled to escape the shadow cast by Pompey's illustrious reputation. Despite his best efforts, Crassus remained in Pompey's formidable shadow, a constant reminder of his own limitations in the face of a more dominant political force. This pivotal phase in Crassus's career marked a turning point for him, as it coincided with the outbreak of the Third Servile War, led by the gladiator Spartacus. The rebellion posed a significant threat to Rome, prompting Crassus to not only provide financial support, but also personally take charge of training and leading fresh troops at his own expense. This demonstrated both his wealth and his unwavering commitment to maintaining stability in Rome. Recognizing his offer and military capabilities, the Senate appointed Crassus to directly confront Spartacus. Initially, Crassus faced difficulties in dealing with Spartacus's strategic prowess and in boosting the morale of his own soldiers. A challenging moment arose when a group of his troops deserted the battlefield, leaving behind their weapons. In response, Crassus decided to impose discipline through a severe measure known as decimation. This brutal tactic involved executing 1 out of every 10 randomly chosen soldiers, with the goal of restoring order and unity within his ranks. The severe nature of this punishment had long-lasting effects, as described in detail by Plutarch, who recounted the brutal consequences. Historians later noted that these extreme measures had a profound impact on the morale of Crassus's troops, who began to view him as a greater threat than their enemies. As the conflict progressed, Spartacus strategically led his forces to the Parthian peninsula refuge in this advantageous location. In an effort to contain Spartacus and his army, Crassus ordered the construction of a trench and barricade across the Isthmus of Rhegium, effectively isolating the peninsula from the mainland. This strategic move demonstrated Crassus's tactical acumen and determination to defeat Spartacus. By taking on the challenge of confronting Spartacus and implementing bold strategies to contain the rebellion, Crassus solidified his reputation as a capable military leader and a staunch defender of Rome's interests during this crucial phase of his career. The grand ambition that drove this remarkable engineering accomplishment was to create an impenetrable barrier stretching across the breadth of Spartacus's path, effectively enclosing him from one coast to the other. However, even in the face of such a formidable obstacle, the resourceful and relentless gladiator managed to outwit his pursuers. In a daring move during a blizzard, Spartacus and a faction of his loyal followers devised a clever strategy to outmaneuver Crassus's troops by constructing a makeshift bridge over the deep trench that had been meant to confine them. By utilising nothing but earth and tree branches, they successfully evaded capture and continued their quest for freedom unabated. As the conflict escalated to a critical point during the Third Servile War, Crassus found himself bolstered by the arrival of two battle-hardened Roman legions under the command of Pompey, returning from Hispania, and Varro Lucas, arriving from Te. With the looming threat of being encircled by these formidable adversaries, Spartacus made a strategic decision to confront his enemies head-on, rather than risk being trapped and subdued. The climactic showdown near the Salaria River ultimately culminated in a resounding victory for Crassus, as his well-coordinated forces overpowered the valiant but outnumbered rebels. In the midst of the chaotic and brutal clash, Spartacus displayed unparalleled bravery by personally engaging in combat, managing to eliminate two of Crassus's centurions before presumably meeting his own tragic end, as his body was never recovered from the battlefield. The aftermath of the decisive confrontation was marked by a grim display of power and deterrence, as Crassus ordered the crucifixion of 6,000 captured slaves along the Via Appia, a stark and chilling reminder of the consequences of defying Roman authority. Despite the overwhelming success of the campaign and the elimination of the rebellious threat, Crassus found himself grappling with concerns over whether his significant achievements would be duly recognised and acknowledged in the annals of Roman history. Before going into battle, he had urgently requested reinforcements from both Pompey and Lucas, believing that their additional forces would secure his victory against Spartacus's rebellious army. However, his initial optimism soon turned to regret, as he realised that the arrival of these reinforcements could potentially diminish his own contributions to the war effort. His concerns were validated when Pompey, upon joining the campaign, swiftly took charge of pursuing the remnants of Spartacus's forces, and ultimately claimed a considerable share of the credit for the victory. Pompey wasted no time in informing the Senate that while Crassus had indeed led the defeat of the slave rebellion, it was he, Pompey, who emerged as the true hero of the conflict. This assertion not only undermined Crassus's achievements, but also highlighted the political manoeuvring and ambition prevalent in Roman Crassus made the strategic decision not to pursue a grand triumph ceremony, opting instead for a more subdued form of celebration known as renovation. This choice not only reflected the societal norms surrounding victories over slaves, but also symbolised Crassus's acknowledgement of the collaborative effort with Pompey in ending the Third Servile War. The power dynamics between Crassus and Pompey extended beyond the battlefield and into Roman politics, particularly in their joint pursuit of the consulship. Plutarch's accounts shed light on the intricate political dance leading up to their shared consulship in 70 BC. Crassus, eager to secure the prestigious position, turned to Pompey for support, who, recognising the opportunity to forge a political alliance, wholeheartedly endorsed Crassus's candidacy. However, their time in office as joint consuls was marred by constant discord as their differing opinions and ambitions clashed on various matters, resulting in an ineffective and turbulent consulship characterised by ongoing disagreements and power struggles. Plutarch extensively analyses how Crassus utilised his vast wealth to not only enhance his political standing, but also to fulfil his religious obligations during his tenure in office. By organising grand public sacrifices, hosting extravagant banquets, and generously distributing grain to the populace, Crassus sought not only divine favour, but also popular support and admiration. These lavish displays were not merely acts of piety, but strategic manoeuvres aimed at solidifying his influence among the masses. Appian further delves into the complex dynamics between Crassus and Pompey following a rebellion, shedding light on the intense power struggle that unfolded as both leaders vied for supremacy. The tense standoff over the dismissal of their armies near Rome during their respective bids for consulship underscored the deep-seated rivalry and mutual suspicion between the two figures. Despite Crassus meeting Sulla's stringent legal requirements as a praetor and Pompey's pledge to restore powers to the plebeian tribunes curtailed by Sulla, the issue of army dismissal exacerbated their conflict, heightening political tensions in Rome. In a bid to diffuse the escalating feud, Crassus extended a conciliatory gesture towards Pompey, signalling a willingness to ease the strained relations between them. The year 65 BC marked a significant turning point when Crassus and Capitolinus, both scions of prestigious and conservative backgrounds, were elected as censors. During this period, Crassus emerged as a pivotal figure in supporting Julius Caesar financially, playing a crucial role as his patron. This backing proved instrumental in Caesar's political ascent, notably aiding his successful campaign to secure the prestigious position of Pontifex Maximus, the highest religious office in Rome. By leveraging his resources and influence, Crassus enabled Caesar to reclaim a prominent religious role previously stripped from him, thereby bolstering his standing and consolidating his authority within Roman society. Furthermore, it is important to highlight that Crassus's support for Caesar extended beyond just securing military commands. He also provided crucial financial backing and political influence, which helped pave the way for Caesar's rise to power. This further solidified the bond between the three men and laid the foundation for their joint pursuit of political supremacy in Rome. One key aspect of the First Triumvirate was the division of territories among its members. This division was not only a means of consolidating assigning Hispania to Pompey and Syria to Crassus. The Triumvirate effectively extended its reach and influence across the empire. This move was not only a show of strength, but also a way to maintain a balance of power within the alliance. The decision by Crassus to target Parthia for military conquest was a bold and ambitious move. Parthia was known for its wealth and strategic importance, making it an enticing target for a Roman general seeking glory and riches. However, Crassus's decision to reject the alliance offer from Artavasdes II, the Armenian king, and instead pursue a riskier route underscores his overconfidence and lack of strategic foresight. This decision would later prove to be disastrous for Crassus and his forces. In summary, Crassus's role in the First Triumvirate was not limited to military support, but extended to financial backing, political manoeuvring, and territorial ambitions. His ill-fated campaign in Parthia serves as a cautionary tale of the dangers of hubris and the consequences of ignoring strategic advice and opportunities for alliances. In a fateful decision, he eschewed caution for a more perilous route, opting to cross the formidable Euphrates River, swayed by ill-advised counsel from an Armenian chieftain. This choice proved to be the harbinger of doom for his military campaign. Unbeknownst to Crassus, the chieftain, Ariamnes, had clandestinely aligned himself with the Parthians, setting the stage for betrayal. Under false pretenses, Ariamnes duped Crassus into launching a premature assault, deceitfully claiming that the Parthian forces were disorganized and vulnerable. Leading Crassus's army deep into the arid desert, far removed from vital water supplies, Ariamnes orchestrated a catastrophic trap. The fateful clash occurred in 53 BC at the Battle of Kay, near present-day Haran in Turkey, where the Roman legions clashed with the formidable Parthian army. Despite possessing superior numbers, Crassus's heavily armoured infantry proved ill-equipped to counter the agile and swift Parthian cavalry, experts in hit-and-run tactics. Armed with lethal composite bows, the Parthians expertly employed mounted archers to devastating effect, utilising advanced shooting techniques such as firing both forwards and backwards, executing strategic feigned retreats, and launching relentless attacks that decimated the Roman ranks. As the Roman forces found themselves in a desperate situation, Crassus attempted to weather the storm by maintaining the defensive testudo formation, hoping to deplete the Parthians' ammunition. However, the Parthians had shrewdly stationed camels laden with extra arrows strategically, enabling a continuous barrage that inflicted heavy casualties on the Roman ranks. Despite the pressing need for tactical adaptation, Crassus stubbornly refused to alter his approach, leading to a tragic outcome. In a glimmer of hope amidst the chaos, Crassus's kinsman, Cassius Longinus, proposed a reorganization of the Roman battle lines to better counter the Parthian tactics. Regrettably, Crassus remained steadfast in his obstinacy, sealing the fate of his troops. As dusk settled, the surviving Roman soldiers managed a harrowing retreat to Kay, leaving behind many wounded comrades in the pandemonium, who later fell prey to the relentless pursuit and annihilation by the Parthians. The Battle of Kar stands out as a pivotal moment in Roman military history, serving as a stark reminder of the perils of unchecked ambition and flawed decision-making. It was Crassus's relentless pursuit of military glory that ultimately led to his downfall, as his overconfidence and miscalculations sowed the seeds of his defeat. The repercussions of this defeat reverberated not only through Crassus's own fate, but also through the fate of his legions and the broader Roman Empire. Following the disastrous battle, Crassus and his troops found themselves in a precarious position, with the looming threat of further Parthian attacks casting a shadow over them. Meanwhile, dissent and discontent began to simmer within the ranks, as the soldiers grappled with the harsh realities of their defeat and the uncertain future that lay ahead. Faced with mounting pressure from his troops, Crassus reluctantly entertained the idea of negotiating peace with the Parthians. However, the peace talks quickly soured due to deep-rooted mutual distrust between Crassus and the Parthian general Serena. The situation took a tragic turn when Crassus, accompanied by his entourage, set out for the Parthian camp to engage in negotiations. Octavius, one of Crassus's subordinates, sensed treachery and intervened, inadvertently triggering a violent clash that resulted in the untimely demise of Crassus and many of his companions. This sudden and brutal turn of events not only shattered any hopes of diplomacy, but also threw Crassus's men into chaos, effectively bringing an end to their crusade. In a macabre and symbolic act of contempt towards Crassus's reputation for greed and avarice, legend has it that the Parthians poured molten gold into his mouth after his death, serving as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked ambition and the pursuit of wealth at any cost. This chilling gesture has since been passed down through generations as a cautionary tale, underscoring the pitfalls of greed and the hubris that led to Crassus's tragic demise. The humiliation of Crassus did not end with his death. It reverberated through Roman history as a sobering reminder of the consequences of overreaching and the high price of unchecked ambition. The legacy of the Battle of Car and its aftermath serves as a cautionary tale for future generations, highlighting the importance of prudence, humility, and sound judgment in the pursuit of power and glory. During the opulent wedding celebration held in the historical Armenian city of Artaxata, an event of grandeur graced by the esteemed presence of King Ares of Armenia and Parthian King Orodes, historical accounts vividly recount a macabre incident that left a lasting impression on the attendees. It is reported that amidst the lavish festivities, the decapitated head of the Roman general Crassus, a stark symbol of Roman defeat, was shockingly introduced. This gruesome act, symbolic of the brutal realities of war, was made even more chilling by the incorporation of Crassus's head as a prop in a dramatic performance of Euripides' tragic masterpiece, the Bacchae. The actor behind this audacious portrayal, known as Jason of Torres, ingeniously utilised Crassus's head to represent the character of Pentheus, blurring the lines between Greek theatrical art and the grim aftermath of military conquest. This fusion of art and savagery served as a poignant reminder of the fragile boundary between civilization and barbarism during times of conflict. Adding insult to injury, historical records, as chronicled by Plutarch, reveal the Parthians' further mockery of Crassus in a posthumous display of contempt. They subjected a Roman captive symbols of Crassus and Imperator. This grotesque imitation of a Roman triumphal procession was a deliberate affront to Roman military traditions that glorified conquest and power, underscoring the Parthians' intent to degrade Crassus's memory and undermine the perceived invincibility of Rome. Such narratives not only illuminate the brutal nature of ancient warfare and the personal risks faced by prominent figures like Crassus, but also shed light on the strategic use of cultural and psychological warfare throughout history. By employing symbols, theatrics, and psychological manipulation, ancient civilizations sought to assert dominance, sow fear among their enemies, and solidify their own positions of power. The events at the Grand Wedding in Artaxata serve as a stark reminder of the multifaceted nature of conflict, where military conquest intertwines with cultural symbolism and psychological warfare. The ancient Roman adage, "They who are conquered may be victorious," takes on new meaning in the context of such calculated displays of dominance. While these tactics may have been effective in asserting supremacy and demoralizing foes in ancient times, they also highlight the enduring impact of psychological warfare on the course of history. As we reach the end of our ASMR history journey, we reflect on the multifaceted and fascinating life of Marcus Licinius Crassus. His legacy, defined by incredible wealth, relentless ambition, and a dramatic downfall, continues to resonate through the corridors of history. Crassus's story serves as a poignant reminder of the fleeting nature of power and fortune. Thank you for joining me on this tranquil exploration of Crassus's life. My name is Sophie, and I hope you found it as intriguing as I did, and that the whispers of ancient Rome have brought you relaxation and a deeper appreciation for one of history's most compelling figures. Until our next journey, may the calm and serenity of the past stay with